Nobody who witnesses a serious accident walks away unscathed. As well as pain, guilt, and loss of reputation, many accidents on ships result in claims against the owner. In most parts of the world, the value of personal injury claims is increasing. They cost the shipping industry $500 million a year. This increases the cost of P&I insurance, makes it more difficult to operate ships profitably, and puts jobs at risk. When an accident occurs, the master is ultimately responsible. What he does now will often have far-reaching effects on the outcome of a claim. Taking the appropriate action at the time of the incident is therefore crucial. Later in the program, we'll look at the resources he can call on for help. Better by far to stop accidents occurring at all. No one knows more about maritime personal injury claims than the UK P&I Club. With the experience of examining thousands of claims a year, the club knows most accidents don't just happen. They have causes which can be identified and therefore prevented.
If you could ask someone in your engineering department about
Their
that,
analysis of major claims shows it's not major casualties, but everyday incidents that account for the majority of serious injuries and death, often where routine jobs are performed without sufficient care being taken.
He fell down from direct.
Though the ships and locations are different, the scenes that follow are based on real incidents.
We still don't have the claim documents from opposing counsel. He's never supplied us with his claim.
In every case, suffering and loss could be prevented by taking care. The hazards which people working on ships face daily are not necessarily obvious.
Good morning. The chief engineer, please.
Я не понял.
Chief engineer.
Chief engineer.
Simple slips and falls cause nearly half of all injury claims from crew and others doing business aboard.
Keep watch.
Yeah, thank you.
Many accidents occur because simple safety procedures are ignored.
Good morning. The chief engineer, please.
Chief engineer.
Yes.
The weather deck is a particularly high-risk area. Don't increase the risk by leaving potential booby traps like this. Clutter on deck causes accidents by itself or by hiding deck fittings that trip you. It's difficult looking at your own ship with fresh eyes. A worn step or bad lighting are problems that a ship's crew simply get used to.
Keep watch.
Yeah, thank you.
They can easily catch out visitors. Shortcuts lead to injuries. Safer by far to lower the materials on a rope. Hard hats are essential in circumstances like these, and the bosun should be setting a better example. Handrails are there to be used. Remember the old saying, one hand for the ship and one for yourself. Necessity may be the mother of invention, but this improvised work platform is a potential death trap. It has no handrail. It's poorly supported. And because it's so narrow, the crew must reach too far, a frequent cause of accidents reported by club members. Casual attitudes to hard hats cost lives. They must be readily available, and the rules about wearing them rigidly enforced. Use of appropriate footwear would prevent many more claims. Working safely in the harsh environment of the engine room requires special precautions. Boiler suits reduce injuries such as burns and scalds. Boots should have hard toe caps and non-slip soles. Exposure to high noise levels can damage hearing. Hearing protectors must be provided and worn. In many jurisdictions, owners already face claims for industrial deafness. It's only a matter of time before they surface in courts around the world. In the engine room, openings left unguarded, even for a short period, cause many accidents. Oil is as dangerous on handrails as it is on decks. This is asking for trouble, especially if the use of hard hats isn't enforced. And in here, shouting won't save him. It's when things go wrong, the lack of effective training is most acutely felt. No one appears to be in charge of this hatch opening operation. Better to isolate the winch before trying to unjam the hatch cover. Don't allow commercial pressures to push safety into second place. Language barriers hinder communication, but signals can be disastrously misleading. Poor or unserviceable lighting is a major cause of personal injury claims. In such circumstances, it is the owner who is likely to be found responsible. Equipment should be maintained so that it works without special attention.
This way?
This way.
Yeah?
这边是好的。This way is good, and the light way is no good.
No good.
No good.
Normal operation is particularly important when equipment may be operated by people other than the crew, such as stevedores. If defective equipment is involved in an accident, the owner could be found liable no matter who was operating it. Tanks, holds, any space sealed for long periods can be starved of oxygen. This is well known, yet men working in enclosed areas frequently die.
Are you finished?
After 2 minutes.
Recently, on passage to Japan, an experienced chief officer tried holding his breath to inspect a cargo. He died. In Spain, a surveyor collapsed. A colleague who went to his aid also passed out. So did a third man. None of these men wore breathing apparatus. All of them died. Breathing apparatus should be used to stay alive, not just to bring out your dead. In galleys, the risk of slips and falls is ever present, and greatly increased where attitudes to the wearing of non-slip shoes are relaxed. Training must emphasize the correct use of protective clothing. In this case, not just gloves, but goggles too. Many accidents can be prevented by being alert to unsafe working practices.
No. Okay.
Here, a claim might have been avoided if steps had been available. Pride goes before a fall is never more true than on ships. The club's figures show that 1 in 10 crew injuries are a direct result of trying to do a two-man job alone. Dangerous defects must be put right without delay, especially when crews speak different languages. Misunderstood warning signs have proved fatal. The last few moments of a voyage are often some of the most stressful. Mooring injuries are frequent, and their causes include poor communication between bridge and mooring stations, standing in unsafe places, too few or too many turns on winches, taking up too fast, overloading, the parting of stopper lines, equipment failure due to poor maintenance, and rope failure due to damage caused by chafe and exposure to chemicals and sunlight. All of these demand attention if both ship and crew are to be brought safely to the berth. Gangways are the site of many injuries, often because they've been rigged with insufficient care. They should never be left slippery, from stevedores' boots, for example. And at night, it's essential to provide adequate lighting. Safety nets must prevent anyone falling between the steps or the stanchions. While everyone wants to get on with their business, safety must come first. Recently, a ship's agent was badly injured climbing a partly rigged gangway. He then claimed compensation from the owner. In many parts of the world, the owner's responsibility extends beyond the gangway. This means if crew aren't warned about dockside hazards and are injured on the quay, they might have a case against the ship. Personal injuries account for almost 1/3 of the major claims dealt with by the club. Besides the pain and suffering, personal injuries cost more than all the collisions, more than all the pollution incidents. With no sign of an end to the spiralling costs of these cases, they are threatening to bleed the industry dry. What can be done to prevent them? Half of all crew injuries are directly connected to errors made by themselves or deck officers. Equipment or structural failure is the next biggest cause of accidents, but there can be little doubt that lack of maintenance, another kind of human error, is often really to blame. The remaining category consists of accidents caused by one man trying to do the work of two, yet another human failing. So it's clear that greater awareness of safety issues and training aimed at preventing accidents have major parts to play in preventing crew injuries. Whatever care is taken to foresee and prevent them, accidents will happen. When they do, knowing what to do can limit the physical, psychological, and financial damage. When an accident occurs, how can the UK P&I Club help? Your first priority is to provide the casualty with the best first aid available, with advice from medical experts ashore.
Ελλάς ράδιο, το Captain Diamantis, έχω μέτικο, άνθρωπος τραυματίστηκε.
Continuing to take care of him is in everyone's best interest. Neglect now could lead to lawsuits later. Notify the club correspondent as soon as possible and bring your combined expertise to bear on the problems. Where and how can the casualty be disembarked? Will it be better to repatriate him immediately or make the best possible medical arrangements locally? Who will contact the casualty's family?
Hola, ¿qué hay?
Buenas. La señora Aguilar.
Sí, soy yo.
Soy del UK P&I Club. ¿Todo está bien?
Who will keep in touch with them and make sure they receive his wages and other benefits promptly?
Adiós, encantado. Hasta luego. Buenas tardes.
What specialists need to be consulted? Lawyers, surveyors, local experts. An accident report should be completed while memories are fresh, but only record facts. Opinions can cause problems later.
One of the crew members is going to grease in the block of the deck without safety belt.
Are all the crew members being made aware there are safety harness on board?
Yes, it's necessary to use.
Assist in any investigation the club decides necessary.
I saw him, he fall down from direct.
Encourage everyone to say exactly what occurred, even if it gives a bad impression, because experience shows the truth will come out in the end, perhaps in court. Don't dismiss injuries as too trivial to be notified. Today's sprained ankle can turn into a significant claim in years to come. Always treat minor accidents as warnings that something is wrong with working procedures or equipment, and remedy defects and deficiencies. Nobody is untouched by an accident. But remember, experiences which are traumatic for you are routine for the club. UK P&I Club experts are ready to help you, wherever you are, 24 hours a day. They are unrivaled in their experience of personal injury claims and their ability to handle them efficiently. Together, you can take care of it.